Take 1003. Hey guys, welcome back, and today I'm going to be sharing with you a really quick method for cutting long layers in under 8 minutes. Now this is a fantastic technique if you're running behind in the salon and you're trying to catch up, or whether you're just trying to maximize your value per hour. Now, coming from the Sassoon camp of precision cutting, I'll tell you now, this is not that. But over the years, I've just realized there's a time and a place for all different types of techniques and shortcuts and methods, and I hope you guys find a place in your arsenal for this one. So without further ado, let's get started. First, we're going to take a look at my client's hair and assess what she needs. She expressed that she has had some pretty severe color damage in the past and some really uneven breakage where a lot of hair had broken off on one side and not the other, so her layers were pretty uneven. So what we're going to do is go in and reset the perimeter and strengthen up all the edges of the layers and clean up the ends. Now, since we want clean lines, we're going to get the hair wet and brush the hair out. Now, as you can see, that brush did not go through that hair very easily. So if you're going to get a haircut done in under 8 minutes, you can't waste a single stroke. You got to cut out every single movement that isn't necessary. So I like to use a really good detangler, brush the hair out, and make sure that when I pull that comb through, it slides through the first time and I don't spend my whole haircut detangling. Here you can see I'm using an ion detangler, sprayed it throughout, and the brush starts going through a whole lot easier than it was before. So just go ahead and make sure that's fully saturated, and then we'll start by creating a center part and pulling all the hair forward over the neck. This gives us a stronger weight line in the front and a little bit of a V shape in the back. The comb I'm using here is a silicone infused comb by From, which I find just really reduces the amount of combing I have to do because it just glides through the hair. And the shears I'm using are also by From. They're called Defy, and I'm really loving using these right now just because they make really clean precision lines. I can cut a lot of bulk of hair in them just with no effort. They're really easy on my hands, so I love them. I'll also put the link in the description. She didn't want to lose much length, so we wound up cutting off just what we needed to on the perimeter. Then we set a guide for the face framing layers in the front by taking 2 small pieces up at the front. That's going to be our shortest point in the haircut. We then use a T-section, pull the hair forward, and start cutting the face framing layers in one giant section. Now, remember, in precision cutting, we normally wouldn't take sections this large, but we're trying to get a haircut done in under 8 minutes here. So go ahead and check your work, make sure your lines are clean. Then we're going to create a center mohawk section and angle your fingers for how much length you want to preserve in the back. So the longer the layers, you can go ahead and angle your fingers down more. Then we'll create a similar section all the way back down to the occipital bone and continue that line that we were cutting. Then what we'll do is create a triangle or diamond shaped section in the center of the back of the head, find our guide, and cut. Next, we'll exclude the perimeter, and from our T-section we created, we'll pull the hair straight up. We'll start cutting from the shortest point of the haircut that we created earlier all the way to the back, connecting the layers that we just cut in the last section. Now we'll go ahead and cross-check our work, creating one large perpendicular section to the sectioning that we were using before. The purpose of doing this is we're moving through the haircut pretty fast, and we want to make sure that the haircut has symmetry, that it's the same on both sides. Now, given that my client had some color damage and some breakage, I wanted to go through and make sure that we softened things up to make sure that the texture and density, not just the lengths, were symmetrical. All right, so hopefully you are at the 8-minute mark. So I like to go ahead and just rough dry, get about 75% of the moisture out of the hair, and then I'll move into using a round brush. And I'll post a link in the description for all the tools I'm using here. So now that the haircut's dry, I like to go through and just make sure that there were no missed pieces and that all the density and texture that I wanted is there. So I'm going through and adding a bit of texture here. On the perimeter, I felt it was a little heavy still, so I'm going through and taking off that corner of weight by taking a vertical section at the back and pulling forward, leaving the longest length in the center of the head and the shortest connecting the layers in the front. Here, The front still just felt a little heavy due to the hair around the hairline in comparison to it, so I went in and added a little bit of texture at the bottom. And here I'm just repeating that on the other side. Checking for symmetry, and voila! There you have it. A long layered haircut you can do in 8 minutes or less. Less if you're really freaking good. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and found this helpful and useful. If you have any questions or would like to see any other videos, please feel free to leave a comment and make sure to go subscribe.